All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning, I'm Sanjay Mattu. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his Nepalese counterpart to jointly inaugurate Motihari-Amlekhganj cross-border petroleum pipeline. Special investigation team decides to reopen 7 anti-Sikh riot cases. Centre to bring a new power tariff policy soon to empower consumers. Food and Consumer Affairs Minister Vilas Paswan asks bottled water industry to find a suitable alternative for single-use plastic bottles. British Parliament rejects Prime Minister Boris Johnson's call for early elections for the second time. 10 Sri Lankan cricket players decide to stay away from the upcoming Pakistan series for security reasons. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Nepal's Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli will jointly inaugurate the Motihari-Amlekhganj cross-border petroleum products pipeline through video conference today. This is the first transnational petroleum pipeline from India and first South Asian oil pipeline corridor. The landmark pipeline will ensure smooth, cost-effective and environment-friendly supply of petroleum products to Nepal. More from our correspondent.
The 69 kilometers long pipeline from Motihari in Bihar to Amlekhganj in Nepal has been constructed by India in just 15 months, half of its 30 months deadline. It has been constructed at the cost of around 350 crore rupees, which are entirely borne by Indian Oil Corporation. IOC has also trained officials of Nepal Oil Corporation and refurbished 2 storage tanks of NOC at Amlekhganj depot. Besides ensuring smooth and environment-friendly supply of petroleum products, the pipeline is also expected to help Nepal in saving billions of rupees every year on transportation and leakage. Rajkumar, AIR News, Kathmandu.
A special investigation team, or SIT, set up by the Union Home Ministry, has decided to reopen 7 anti-Sikh riot cases where the accused were either acquitted or the trial closed. According to a Home Ministry notification, the SIT has taken up the discharged cases for scrutiny or preliminary inquiry. The 7 anti-Sikh riot cases were registered in 1984 at police stations in Vasant Vihar, Sunlight Colony, Kalyanpuri, Parliament Street, Connaught Place, Patel Nagar and Shahdra in the national capital. The SIT has issued public notices asking individuals and organizations to provide information related to the 7 cases. Shiromani Akali Dal leader Majinder Singh Sirsa claimed that senior Congress leader and Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Kamal Nath will also be investigated in one of the cases. The SIT has so far reopened around 80 out of the 650 cases registered in connection with anti-Sikh riots. The Modi government constituted the SIT for reinvestigation of all cases which the probe team finds appropriate. The National Democratic Alliance government, under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, has taken many historic and path-breaking initiatives in the first 100 days of its second term. A report from our correspondent.
NDA government has set a target to provide 1.95 crore houses to eligible beneficiaries under the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin during 2019-20 to 2021-22. Drinking water will be provided to all rural households by 2024. Under Ayushman Bharat, over 16,000 hospitals have been empaneled, 41 lakh beneficiaries have been admitted and 10 crore e-cards have been issued. Over 20,000 health and wellness centers have become operational across the country under the scheme. In a significant achievement, Prime Minister's Ujjwala Yojana has achieved the target of giving free LPG connection to 8 crore poor within 100 days. With Naveen Kumar's report, this is Rita Srivastava, AIR News, Delhi.
Several union ministers will today present report cards on 100 days of the government by holding media interactions in different cities across the country. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman will brief the media in Chennai, while Law Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad will speak to the media in Ahmedabad, Gujarat. Textiles Minister Smriti Irani will interact with the media in Kolkata. Power Minister R.K. Singh has said that the government will soon bring a new power tariff policy with a focus on empowering the consumers. Talking to AIR in Hyderabad, he said the new power tariff policy will be a path-breaking one as the government is laying down for the first time in the power sector a Bill of Rights of Consumers. Mr. Singh said the rights include 24/7 power supply to consumers, and in case of any load shedding, penalty will be levied on distribution companies or discoms and credited into the consumer's account. The minister said if there's any disruption in supply, it has to be attended to within a certain time frame which would be laid down by the regulator. The discoms cannot pass on the burden of their inefficiency onto the consumers. Mr. Singh said every single rural household will have electricity and cooking gas connection. He said 1.95 crore houses will be provided to eligible beneficiaries under the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin by 2022.
We have already connected every village with power. We have connected every house with power except for some houses in Chhattisgarh which are Naxalite affected, and some houses in Rajasthan. That also is happening. And we are very clear in our mind that there will not be a single home left without a power connection or without a gas connection.
President Ramnath Kovind has invited professionals, especially in the field of geothermal energy from Iceland, to be part of the transformational journey of India. Participating in the reception hosted by the Indian community in Iceland last night, the President noted that major reforms are taking place in India, gaining a new confidence globally.
We are proud of your achievements. You convey an image of India that is highly mobile, highly skilled, and one whose people are writing the script of the machine intelligence age. You are contributing to the local society through your advanced skills, but equally through your warmth and friendship.
The President informed that visa procedures have been simplified with introduction of e-visa facilities in 169 countries. He noted that Iceland has embraced yoga as its own and taken active participation in the International Day of Yoga. A special court in Mumbai has allowed the CBI to question former media baron Indrani Mukherjee, jailed for allegedly killing her daughter Sheena Bora in connection with the INX media corruption case, in which former Union Finance Minister P. Chidambaram has been arrested. The Central Bureau of Investigation yesterday sought the court's permission to question Indrani Mukherjee, saying they want clarity on certain financial transactions as part of the corruption case. Special CBI Judge J.C. Jagdale permitted the central agency to question Indrani Mukherjee inside Mumbai's Baikula prison, where she is lodged under judicial custody. Food and Consumer Affairs Minister Vilas Paswan has asked manufacturers of packaged drinking water, like Pepsi and Coca-Cola, to come up with alternative packaging in the next 3 days. Mr. Paswan yesterday held a meeting with the bottled water industry and various government departments in New Delhi to find a suitable alternative for single-use plastic bottles for drinking water. Talking to reporters, Mr. Paswan said an interministerial committee under the chairmanship of the Cabinet Secretary has been formed to look into the issue of banning single-use plastic. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates, follow us on Twitter @AIR News Alerts. The British Parliament rejected a second attempt by Prime Minister Boris Johnson to call an early election to break the Brexit deadlock. The MPs had earlier too voted to demand the government to publish confidential documents about Britain's readiness to leave the EU on the 31st of October without a divorce deal. Johnson took office in July, promising to deliver on the 2016 referendum vote for Brexit, even if that means leaving without exit terms agreed on with Brussels. But many MPs reject a no-deal divorce and in the past few days have rushed through a law that would force Johnson to delay Brexit if he failed to strike a deal. The last chance to get a deal to avoid a Brexit delay is at an EU summit starting on October 17. Petroleum and Natural Gas Minister Dharmendra Pradhan, who's on a 3-day visit to the United Arab Emirates, will participate in the 8th Asian Ministerial Energy Roundtable beginning today in Abu Dhabi. India is the co-host along with the UAE at the event. The conference will debate energy security in the age of change with a view to empower responsible growth in Asia and the world. More from our correspondent.
AMER 8 is structured in 2 plenary sessions that will focus ministerial dialogue on the role of the new technologies for a more competitive and productive world energy mix and advancing inclusive access to secure, affordable and sustainable energy services. Union Minister Dharmendra Pradhan is likely to address the opening session of the meeting. On the sidelines of the AMER 8 meet, the Union Minister is also expected to meet the heads of the international energy organizations who are attending the roundtable. Kanchan Prasad, AIR News, Abu Dhabi.
Ashura-e-Muharram is being observed with due reverence and solemnity in various parts of the country today. The day marks the martyrdom of Prophet Muhammad's grandson, Hazrat Imam Hussain, and his companions, who laid down their lives for upholding truth, righteousness and justice in Karbala. Tazia processions are being taken out to mark the occasion. Majlis or religious meetings highlighting the supreme sacrifice of the Karbala martyrs are also being held. On to sports news now. A total of 10 Sri Lankan cricket players have chosen to stay away from the upcoming Pakistan series, mainly for security reasons. This was disclosed to the Sri Lankan Cricket Board yesterday during a meeting with the players, who were chosen as part of a preliminary squad to play 3 ODIs and 3 T20 matches in Pakistan beginning later this month. In boxing, India will open their campaign at the ongoing Men's World Championships in Ekaterinburg, Russia today. India's Brijesh Yadav will take on Poland's Mariusz Gołęcki in the opener. The World Championship features more than 450 boxers from 87 countries. The 25th Senior Women's National Football Championship will kick off today at Pasighat in Arunachal Pradesh. Altogether, 30 teams from across India are participating in the 15-day event. The inaugural match will be played between Railways and Mizoram. In Madhya Pradesh, continuous heavy rains have disrupted normal lives. The rivers and nalas are in spate in the state, and so far more than a dozen people have died. A report.
Road connectivity has been broken in most districts and water has entered houses in many areas. Due to continuous rains in the state, additional water is being released into rivers by opening the gate of 21 dams including Bargi, which has created flood-like situations in many areas. The opening of the gate of Bargi Dam in Jabalpur district has led to a huge rise of water level in the river Narmada, which is flowing around the danger mark in more than a dozen districts of the state. The Met Department has issued a red alert warning of heavy rains in 8 districts, while rains in other 16 districts. Sanjeev Sharma, AIR News, Bhopal.
The Uttar Pradesh government has said that almost 3,000 acres of land are available in the state at 6 different nodes for the Defence Corridor, and in the coming Defence Expo 2020, it will be available for investors too. The statement came after a meeting of Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath and Defence Minister Rajnath Singh in Delhi yesterday. In a tweet, the UP Chief Minister said, "The Defence Expo is going to be the best organised event in the state, and we are planning for it on the lines of the Kumbh, the Investors Summit and the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas." The 11th edition of the Defence Expo would be held for the first time in Lucknow from the 5th to the 8th of February 2020. And now for a look at today's newspapers for the major stories, it's over to Sarabjit Kaur.
Thank you, Sanjay. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's address at the COP14 meet in Greater Noida is widely covered on the front pages. The pioneer quotes Mr. Modi as saying, "End single-use plastic to save farmland." Union Home Minister Amit Shah's comments on the proposed Citizenship Amendment Bill at the North-East Democratic Alliance conclave held in Guwahati is highlighted in the press. The Asian Age reports, "Won't override tribal laws in North-East," vows Shah. Meghalaya's Conrad Mizo CM urged Home Minister to allay North-East fears. In news about the Chandrayaan-2 lander Vikram, the Economic Times reports, "Vikram's intact but tilted near planned landing site." The Pioneer adds, "Chances bleak but bids on to reconnect to lander after hard landing on Moon." And finally, the Times of India carries a picture of a smiling Anupriya Lakra under the caption, "In a first, Odisha tribal woman becomes pilot." With that, it's back to you, Sanjay.
Thank you, Sarabjit. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his Nepalese counterpart to jointly inaugurate Motihari-Amlekhganj cross-border petroleum pipeline. Special investigation team decides to reopen 7 anti-Sikh riot cases. Centre to bring a new power tariff policy soon to empower consumers. Food and Consumer Affairs Minister Vilas Paswan asks bottled water industry to find a suitable alternative for single-use plastic bottles. British Parliament rejects Prime Minister Boris Johnson's call for early elections for the second time. 10 Sri Lankan cricket players decide to stay away from the upcoming Pakistan series for security reasons. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.